Okay, awesome. And then I'm going to send over just a couple helpful resources for everybody. Just so everybody knows, the first and third Thursday of every month is CRM basics and training. So if you feel like you have a good handle of GoHigh Level, this one may be a more boring call, but it's important that I do these for like new people that are getting inside of GoHigh Level and the CRM. So today will be a CRM basics and training. So if you have any questions while I go through it, just let me know. Second Thursday of every month, I'm going to have an industry expert or someone that offers a cool product where they can show you what they do. That will be on the second Thursday of every month. And then the fourth Thursday of every month is my favorite. We're just going to be going over different marketing strategies that loan officers are doing. So that's kind of how the schedule works. Just a few helpful resources inside of here. Let me pull this up really quick and I'll send it in the chat. If you ever need like a one-on-one GoHigh Level training, my assistant, he's been working with me for 5 years. You can book a call with him here and he'll go over like GoHigh Level in depth with you. One-on-one is the first resource. Second resource, my business partner, every week he records something new that's GoHigh Level related. If you're not on my marketing package and just the CRM and you want to build some things out, that's the second resource. And then the third resource is our weekly trainings that we're doing right now. And then I actually have a fourth one that we added. So right here, and again, feel free to email me, text me, call me anytime you need. But the fourth resource, we added an AI agent called Nova DHL Support Agent. So it's just a GPT that goes throughout all of GoHigh Level that you can use anytime. And you can ask it questions like, how do I build a workflow? How do I add a contact? Those kind of things, and it will tell you inside of there. So hopefully that helps. That's a ton of resources, but we're going to go in and start diving into CRM basics, and just let me know if you guys have any questions. Okay, so we're going to start on the left-hand side, and we're going to go in on how to create a contact, how to add notes to a contact, how to add a task, and just everything contact related. So if you go into your CRM and you go into contacts and you go into add contact, this is how you add a contact inside of here. So you'll just click add contact. You'll put in their name. So I'll just put like Devin, Gillen, and then just put in a fake email right here. And then you'll put in the phone number, and then you're going to hit save. And what will happen is it's going to take you to the contact right here inside of the CRM. So that's how you manually create a contact. If they're not coming over from your LOS, you haven't mass imported the list. And then we'll just start on the left-hand side. It's going to look a little bit different in everybody's CRM because some LOs wanted it customized to how like they run their business, but it should be somewhat similar inside of your account. So if we start inside the left-hand side, inside of here is going to be main contact information like first name, last name, email, phone number, date of birth, referral source. That will be under contact. General info, this is something that's required that GoHigh Level has, and it's just kind of one of those things we have to keep in there. But if you want, we can remove it to the bottom of the list is general info. Loan details is going to be like loan ID, loan status, referring agent, just anything that's related to the loan will be under loan details. Loan parties would be like buyer's agent, seller's agent, titles agent, transaction coordinators would be under loan parties. And then loan events, this one would be like the dates of when something got sent out, like when the application was submitted, when closing disclosures were sent. So those are loan events. And then the rest of the fields are more for marketing purposes. So like Redder would be, if you're using Redder, this would be a folder for Redder. Website questions would be just questions from the website, more marketing related. Additional info, that would just be things marketing related that I have in additional info. Same for like survey HELOC, that would relate to the HELOC landing page. Survey refinance would relate to the refinance one. So these ones are more marketing related. I haven't added this in anybody's account yet, but there's going to be this one for real estate agent website. Next month, I'm hoping to offer something where we can create websites for your real estate agents and not charge anything. I would just take care of it for you. So if you see that in your account, this is just questions that are related to the realtor website. So it's pretty cool. I'll be announcing that next month and what that entails. And Kathy, did you say something? Sorry, I think I heard you for a second.
I'm sorry. I was putting my eye drops in.
Oh, you're good. You're good. No worries. So this is everything that's going to be in a contact. Just so you guys know, the reason I love GoHigh Level so much is we can customize any of these fields. We can also change the order of any of these fields, and we can put them into any of these folders, if that makes sense. So let's say you wanted loan details above general info. You just send me a quick email. I'd move that for you. Or let's say you're not going to use the HELOC landing page and you want all of these fields removed. Just send me a quick email and I'll remove it for you. So that's again another reason I love GoHigh Level so much. We can make it whatever you want. D&D. So if you do need to D&D someone that like asked you to put them on the do not call list or just not contact them anymore, you'll just check this box right here for all channels. If it's specific to an email or a text message, you just click this right here. But if they do reply the word stop, it will automatically add them. And for email, if they fill out that unsubscribe form, it will automatically add them for you as well inside of there. Okay, now going into actions. So there's 3 things in actions. Client portal, you're going to ignore. That's something that's not related that you guys will need. Workflows. So let's say you have someone that has like bad credit, or maybe it's a new purchase lead and you want to add them to a workflow. You'll just click this plus button right here. Type in the workflow. So let's say we want to do credit repair. And then you would just click add, and then it would add them to that workflow for you inside of there. I'll show you how to view the workflows and how to create workflows as part of this training, but that's how you add workflows to a specific contact. And then opportunities. Everyone, I hope I'll show opportunities to everybody on this call, but this is how you would create an opportunity, or you would see the opportunity that's inside of here. And I'll explain that in just a second when we get to opportunities. So that's the left-hand side. Middle of the screen is going to be anything if they sent like an email, if they sent a text message, maybe they sent you a social media DM on like Instagram or Facebook or Google My Business, if they tried to call you. So that would all be in the middle of the screen and you would see everything right there. That's another reason I like GoHigh Level so much. Everything's in one spot, so it makes it really easy to navigate instead of having to go through multiple windows or tabs. And then to send an email, you'll just type it in right here and send an email. Let me add a phone number to this. Or let me go to a contact that has a phone number. Let's just do this one, my number. If you click on here, you can change it between SMS, WhatsApp, if you use WhatsApp, email. And then if they sent you a social media DM, you can also select social media DM inside of there. So that's the middle of the screen. You can see here, there's like texts and emails that you can view. You'll know it's a text because if you hover over, it says SMS. You'll know it's an email because you'll see the email icon right there. And then you'll be able to see everything that's happened inside of that contact. Okay, going on the right-hand side, and then I'll stop for questions once I get through the contacts piece. Activity is going to be, let's say they click on like one of your landing pages or your website, or they submitted your information. You're going to see that under activity. Associations, this would be tied to opportunities right here. And then you could also create tasks in a specific contact. So by the way, my monitor's on the right, so I see you guys, but if you see me looking to the right. But if I create task and I put in a title right here, like follow up with Devin about loan application, and I put it in the description as well. What's cool is when the task is due, it will send me an email, text, and push notification. So I would just set my due date right here, select the time, and then I would assign it to myself, and then I'd get that reminder. If you want this to be a recurring task, like let's say there's an agent that you need to follow up with every week and you want to be reminded, you would just select this button right here to set up recurring task. And then you can change that to be every day, every week, every month. And then you can select the day that you want it to end, or if you want it to never end right there. And then we're going to go to notes next, and then I'll pause for questions. So if you go to notes on the right-hand side, you can add a note just by clicking add note. And I've seen a lot of top producers more use this for like what did they talk about on the call, or what are some personal interests that the person has. So for an example, you could do Devin has 3 kids and is a Utah Jazz fan. So that's something that you guys could bring up on the next call with that borrower, right? Or that real estate agent. Once you have your note, you'll just click save. That will save the note. And then last thing inside of contacts is appointments. You'll have this on your Google Calendar. The reason it's nice to be able to see this inside of the CRM, you'll be able to see all the past appointments you've had with someone if they book through your calendar link. So that's appointments right there. But I'm going to stop there for a second. There's a lot inside of contacts. Does anybody have any questions about contacts that I can answer?
Yeah, Devin, on contacts, I don't have that little menu on the right side. Does that get turned on somewhere?
Yeah, no, it should just be in your account by default. And you mean like right here, Tristan?
Yeah. So I've got, and I went and reloaded contacts just to kind of go out of everything, but it's not there.
Could you send me a screenshot, Tristan, and I'll look
Yeah.
into yours? Is anybody else seeing the same thing where they're not seeing this on the right-hand side?
And I'm just contact smart list. I don't need to be in tasks or anything like that. It should be there, right?
Yeah. You should just go, if you can see my screen, you'll just go to contacts and click on the contact like this, and then it should show up on the right hand, everything.
Oh, it is there. I wasn't in the contact. All right.
Got it. Okay, perfect. If anybody doesn't see that, let me know and I'll dive into it. Thanks, Tristan. That was a good question just to make sure everybody has it. Any other questions, guys, inside of contacts, like how to add notes, a task, create a contact, anything I can answer before I keep going? I need the break, so let me know. Okay, we'll keep going then to the next thing. But I do record all these trainings, so if you need to go back and watch how to manage contacts, I'll have this inside of here too. Okay. Next thing that we're going to focus on is opportunities. So depending on your LOS, if you use Drive, Nano, Lending Pad, Sonar, or another LOS, yours is going to be a little bit different because it's set up differently. But if you go to opportunities, basically what an opportunity is, think as a contact is going to have all of the contact information and like how to talk to someone. An opportunity could be like a realtor partner you're trying to grow a relationship. It could be a loan that you're trying to track what the status is. So this is what opportunities looks like. Everybody's account is going to look just slightly different. So if you have Arrive, you're going to see the loan pipeline, leads in process, post-close. If you have a Lending Pad, Sonar, or another one, you're going to have loan pipeline. And then if you have Nano, you're going to have active pipeline and pre-approval inside of there. So everybody's going to look a bit different. Going down the list, I am going to show you the different pipelines because other top producers are utilizing this to get more business. So if we go to current realtor partners, the reason this one has worked so well for top producers, it gives them a visual view of everybody they've talked to for that month. So they usually do it in monthly cadences. We can update that to be weekly, even daily. I just need you to let me know. So if I go in here and I want to add an opportunity like an agent I want to talk to every single month, I'm going to go into the current realtors partners one, click on add opportunity, and I'll just type in this one, Devin Testerson, and then I'm going to click create right here. What it's going to do, I know it's a bug in GoHigh Level. You have to reload the page. It's annoying for me too. I ask them every week to fix that. But if you reload the page, it's now going to show the new opportunity under identified. Let's then say that I try to call Devin and he doesn't answer. I'm going to move that to attempted to contact because I try to at least contact Devin. Like I made an effort to try to call him. If I do talk to Devin, I'm going to move him to contacted. And then I have it set up where every month it resets everybody to identified because it's a new month. So you would then start over on the month. Does that make sense, guys, on like how to manage current realtor partners and why LO, like top producers, do it that way? Any questions? Tristan, I'm just going to call on you because, oh, Kathy, sweet. Yeah, go ahead, Kathy.
Okay. This is new to me. I guess I wasn't aware of this. So to put them in there, do we have to put them in individually, or can we do it from like a spreadsheet?
Yeah, I'll even make it easier for you, Kathy. If you send me the names, I'll add them to here for you. But if you wanted to like mass add them to a pipeline, you could go to contacts. And I'm just going to show you how to do this for everybody. Let's say that I want to add anybody that has the tag real estate agent. I'm going to go into contacts, go to advanced filters. And Kathy, am I moving too fast?
I'm with you so far. I'll let you know when you lose me.
Okay, just tell me if I am. But I'm going to create a filter where the tag is real estate agent inside of here. And I'm going to save that as a smart list and just name it real estate agent. And then once I have that list saved, I can select all those contacts.
Okay.
And I can click on more right here.
Okay.
And I can go to manage opportunities.
Okay.
And then I just put an action name like current realtors, right? I would select the pipeline current realtor partners and the stage would be identified, and then you'd add everybody at once. Does that make sense, Kathy?
That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Guido, if you want to go next.
Hey, do you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
How do I make sure that in the opportunity view, like the list resets back to identified?
Yeah, so it's actually a workflow in your account, Guido. So it'll be under automations, and it's going to be, oh wait, I'm trying to remember what I named it. Let me find it really quick. I think it's monthly check-in. Yeah, so the automation is called current real estate agent partners monthly check-in is the automation, Guido. And if you go inside of here, there should inside of here be where it resets the opportunity to the stage every month to identified. If it's not resetting, let me know and I can go into your account for you, Guido, but that should be the same for everybody.
Yeah, if you can help me out with that, because it didn't reset, so I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah, I can for sure help you with that. I would say even a better way to do this, Kathy, I should have had you do it this way because it's going to be way easier. So you know how we created that smart list, Guido and Kathy, like the real estate agent smart list?
Yeah.
I would actually trigger an automation and trigger the automation current realtor partners monthly check-in, because then that would add them to the opportunities like automatically. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Here's a pro tip if you guys want to do this. If you go to automations and you go to current realtor partners monthly check-in, you could even, I would recommend doing this, and I could even set it up for you. You could even add a trigger that says tag. If a tag is added and the tag is real estate agent, you could even make it where it automatically adds them to the workflow. So pros of that, anytime a real estate agent comes through, it automatically adds them to the workflow. Con of that, let's say it's like a buyer's agent or a seller's agent inside of the file and it's not someone you do want to talk to, you probably don't want to set up like the trigger based off the real estate agent tag inside of there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Good question, Guido. Mark, it looks like you have a question too about the current realtor.
Well, first question is, I'm not that familiar with Google Meet. Where's the chat button?
It should be in the bottom right. It's like it kind of looks like a chat icon. Do you see that, Mark?
No, I'm seeing nothing.
Weird. Could you email me a screenshot and I could take it? Should be in the bottom right for you.
Okay. And then my next question is, I have absolutely nothing going on with opportunities. I'd like to. How do I get that going for leads and realtors? And when you move it from one status to another, does it, or can you make it stop one workflow and start another?
Yeah. So I'll show Mark that. If you can remind me, I'm actually going to show workflows on how to set that up. For opportunities, I'm trying to remember your LOS. It's Arrive, right, Mark, or is it Lenny? Okay. So
another quick question. I felt on one of my files and I don't want to auto-generate, congratulations, you're approved or whatever, how do I pause that or stop that until I get caught up?
Yeah, I'll show that. I'll show that too on workflows. So I'm actually going to go over workflows next after opportunities. So just remind me if I miss it, but I should be covering that. But for you, Mark, there should be 3 that should be working right now. And if it's not, email me and I'll look into it. But your leads arrive should be updating from arrive, in process should be, and post close. If it's not, email me just because I have other people with the other LOSs on this call and I'll dive into it for yours, Mark, inside there. And then I'll go into workflows next to answer your other questions. Does that work, Mark, on your questions? Okay. Okay, so that's current realtor partners. Top producers are using that. So it's a good thing I would just like put into practice, like maybe make that your Tuesday calls, right? If you're time blocking your calendar. The next thing is Google My Business reviews. For my business and what I recommend for LOs, I like to keep track of people that I've identified that would leave me a good Google My Business review. And then once I've sent them the review, I'll move them to the stage review sent. The reason that's important is I try to block out just 1 hour a month and go through a list of people that will leave me a Google review. And then I'll also go through the people that I've sent the review, but haven't left a review yet. So it's really important to like keep getting Google My Business reviews. So this gives you like a visual view of who's left your review or not.
And is this typically to just call them directly, or is there a campaign that fires off at this?
Yeah, I actually have a campaign built. I do send an email to everybody if you want me to set it up for you. But Tristan, you're with Arrive, right? Sorry, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Everybody's. Okay. I'm surprised I've remembered everyone's so far. But if you type in GMB, I think is what I named. Nope. Google. And you go to Google My Business review request. This is the one. This bases it off in if it changes to the pipeline stage review sent. It will send you a push notification, text notification, and email a day before the review sends. So if it's like someone that wouldn't leave you a good review, you have time to stop it. And then this is the email and text that would send from there.
Oh, okay, got it. And so if you wanted to stop it, what do you do?
Yeah. So, and Mark, I'll show you too inside of workflows how to stop a workflow completely, but I think this will be helpful for you, Mark, too. If you just click on the contact and you go into actions, so I'll just add, oh yeah, right here, perfect. You just click this X right here on the workflow and they wouldn't get it anymore, the email and text. Does that make sense, Tristan?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So if I did that for Arrive will show up in the workflow submit, and then I catch up, I pause it, and then I catch up and Arrive, and then I go back to this and uncheck it.
Yeah, so for yours, Mark, yours is a little bit different because you're doing it in bulk. I would pause the entire workflow and I'll show that. For this piece, this is like a one-on-one contact and you're removing them forever from that workflow. So you would want to click the X in this case because you never want them to get the workflow. I'll show you though, Mark, how to like pause a workflow and then it will resume by itself on there. Yeah. Okay, awesome. I'm going to keep going. So that's GMB reviews. Inbound leads, I try to use, your pipelines might look different if we've set up lead sources like from Zillow and other platforms, but I try to use inbound leads as like the default one if they're not like a loan in process yet, or they're not like a super good lead that a realtor referred you. So I have it set up this way and we can make it whatever we want. That's the cool thing, but this is what I found that works best. So someone comments on a social media post to put them in there. If they submit a survey, and put them in this stage automatically, and then you would manually move them. So as a loan officer, this is how they're using it. Let's say that, here, let me add an opportunity so you can see a visual view. It'll be easier. So I would want it, the commented on social and survey submitted, they would automatically be added. But let's say that I called Devin and I know I'm in pursuit with him, but he just hasn't answered or I can't get a hold of him. I'd want to keep him in pursuit, right? Till I talk to him. Contacted means I've contacted him and I'm going to want to leave notes inside of there of like what our call was about. The next thing is most people should try to get a consultation booked if they haven't submitted a loan application yet, because that's the best way to get them to the next stage. So you'd move them. If they book a call with you in a specific calendar, it would move them for you. And then once you've completed it, you'd move them to complete. If they're not interested, you'd move them not interested, right? Let's say that they submit an application. It's actually going to grab this contact if the email is the same, and it's going to update it and put it inside of your LOS pipeline, because it's someone that submitted an application now. They're not a lead anymore. Well, they're better than a lead. They're still a lead, but they're better than a lead. Is how I'd say it. Does that make sense on inbound lead, guys? Like how I have the pipeline set up that way?
Right.
Okay, awesome. And then next thing we're going to go to is, so these are LOSs. Other top realtor partners, they're also using pipelines for potential realtor partners. There is a lot that I do for your real estate agents, like open house sign-in sheets, single property sites, their own personal website, and a couple other things. So I'm working on a workflow that we can just send out to all of like new agents and your current agents. It's not done yet. I'm working on it. But that's something we could utilize as marketing. So the reason LOs use this pipeline is because now they can see a visual view of, okay, I have these 10 realtors I pulled from Red or MMI or whatever. These are ones I've identified and that I want to work with. Then you're going to move it to meeting set once you've set a meeting with them, right? Because that's the next stage. Next, you're going to move them to meeting complete once the meeting is complete. If the meeting was missed, you'd move them to meeting missed. If they're a new realtor partner and there's someone that's going to be consistently sending you business, I would move them to new realtor partner. I would even add them to current realtor partners, because there's someone that you're going to be wanting to talk through every month in there. Does that make sense on potential realtor partners, how LOs are using that?
Yeah. Can you set it up where if you move them to new realtor partner that it automatically moves them over?
Yeah, you know what, Tristan? I'm always looking to evolve. I'll probably just create that and then add it to everybody's account. So let me put that as an action item for me.
And then you could create another one that's just kind of a, not a match that you throw in that maybe after talking to them, you don't want to work with them or they're not interested.
That's good. I'm going to add that too. So I'm just going to say, yeah, not interested and DQ'd. Would that make sense?
Yeah.
We're kind of doing it on the fly, so I'll create that for everybody. And then would it help, guys, right here, another thing I was thinking of, we have identified and meeting set. Would it help to have contact or in pursuit like we do for the inbound one?
I think so.
Okay. Anybody oppose? Okay, I'll add that to everybody's account. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so that's potential realtor partners. Refinance pipeline is just another good way to see a visual view of everyone that you've identified. That would be a good refinance opportunity. Form submitted means I have a refinance landing page that people can submit their info if they're interested. So that would be this stage. Tristan, just because you've been talking a little bit more, I think it would make sense to add like an in pursuit stage and everything in there. So I'm going to change the name of this pipeline with the stages in here.
Yeah, and I have a landing page that basically collects that data. I can recreate that in this where it's automatic, because basically it just sends me a PDF once that I log in and pull down. But I need to get with you to do it through that. Basically, I'm asking them details about what's on their statement so that I can put together a mortgage report that goes over and then we schedule a consult.
Yeah, we could even, that would help everybody, Tristan, if I set it up for you, because then I could duplicate that. But we just want to create that as like a landing page with a form. And then we could even have a field that's like upload documents.
Okay. Yeah, I've got, I'll send you the link to the form I've got now.
Okay, and then I can recreate it inside of GoHigh Level, give it to everybody. If you're cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Stickum was our meeting last week that we did. If you want to learn more about Stickum, I'll send you the training. I'm not going to go too much into that because that was last week. Oh yeah, go ahead, Mark. Yep.
Yeah, I don't understand. How do you work with opportunities and tasks at the same time? Or can the opportunities create a task for you? I don't know, when I call someone and I get voicemail or they tell me to call them back on a certain day, I mean, how am I working with that as a task and then also an opportunity?
That's a
What is-
great, yeah, that makes sense, Mark. So this is kind of how I see it, and I've seen other LOs do this way too. Let's just go to like inbound leads for this example, and I'm going to add myself as a contact in here. Boom, reload. So let's say I called Devin, right? And so he's contacted, but Devin told me to give him a call back. That's not really going to be a stage because I've talked to him, but that would be a really good task. So I would click on the opportunity card. I would go to tasks and I would say, Devin said to call him back about submitting an application. So I'd put that in the title, and you could put it in the description if you have more details. Then I would just set a date and a time for that. Like if Devin said to do that next week, and assign it to myself. So basically tasks are going to be like way more, just way more, I'm thinking the right word, granular. No, not granular, just more detailed, if that makes sense. If it's not like a current stage. Does that make sense, Mark? You're on mute if you can hear me.
But what if you have to clear a task? Can you do that through an opportunity page? Or do you have to
No, you can, here, I should have just created that one so you guys could see it. But inside of here, it'll actually go into the contact as well. So there's multiple spots it will go in to make it easy. But you can just clear it, and then if you come back in here and have a checkbox that it's done.
Okay. I'm still trying to figure out how to work with the system efficiently. We have opportunities, we have tasks, and then the dialer hasn't worked out for me. Sorry about that. No one seems to be able to hear me. I've got a headset, and everyone keeps telling me they have trouble hearing me. So I really haven't used that, and I'd like to, but it's just the whole system. How do I contact a lot of people efficiently and keep the files updated? I'm still a little lost on that. I've just been going to the main task page and just going down the list and clicking up people and making a call on my cell phone and updating the task and rescheduling. And I don't know, it seems a little time consuming to actually get through a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm wondering with the power dialer, because sometimes like your default browser will use have you already checked this, Mark? I'll go to the next thing so we don't run out of time, but have you gone in here and like checked your microphone to make sure it's your headset inside of the web browser right here?
Not in the web browser, but in audio settings.
Okay, I would, and I'll have to go to the next thing, Mark. So I'll help you after this call. But if you have time, I would check right here, like when you're in GoHigh Level, click on this piece and click on microphone, and just make sure that your microphone is the headset, because sometimes it just goes to the computer by default, even if you have it in computer settings inside of there. Okay. Awesome. And then I want to get to, also, if anybody's getting video testimonials, I get video testimonials on my website. It's something that I'm going to start helping LOs do more, is getting video testimonials, and an easy way to get them. That's this pipeline. So if you end up like wanting to get video testimonials from your clients, this would be a good one to use. But just know it's something I'll be helping you guys with in the future too on there. Okay. We're almost there. Just a couple more things, and then I'll open it up to questions. So the next thing is workflows and automation. So if you go into automation, what a workflow is, it's a mix of multiple different things that you can send out, like a text, email, social media, DM. I'll show you inside of a workflow, and you can trigger it off of things as well. So if you ever want to create your own workflow, you'll go to automation, you'll click create workflow, and you'll start from scratch. And one thing I always recommend is label your workflow so you know what it's for, so you don't forget in the future. So like, let's say I want this one to be social media word HELOC, right? Like I want to create a workflow that when someone comments the word on any of my social media posts, it sends them a DM through Instagram. So that I would name it to what it's going to be. A trigger is going to be how the workflow triggers. So not what's sending, not the action, but how the workflow triggers. So then I could go in here and say, okay, if someone comments on my Instagram post, so I need to connect like all of this, but pages HOVA, I would delete post type unless if you wanted it to be a specific post, but I could do contains phrase HELOC. And now I have a trigger set up where if someone comments the word HELOC, it then does action items. Does that make sense so far, what a trigger is and how to name your workflow before I keep going? Okay. By the way, if you're on my marketing package, you just tell me the workflow you want to set up. I set it up for you, and you don't even have to do any of this if you want a custom one built. But I have to do these trainings for my CRM clients just so I can make sure you guys are utilizing the CRM. But this is what's called an action, this plus button right here. So let's say that you want a social media DM to send. So let's just do DM, Instagram. You'll go in here and then you can start building the message that you want sent. So you could say, hey, filter in the contact's name. This is Tristan. Here's the link to register for our HELOC. Whatever, right? I have better verbiage inside of my workflows when I'm doing it on the fly right now. And then that would be what's called an action, because the action is the Instagram DM. Let's say that you want to send like an email or a text message. Same thing. You would click on action, type in email, and then you would trigger like the email that's sending out in the text. Does that make sense, guys, on how to set up a workflow on your own? If you want to set up your own, any questions on that?
Yeah, so I've got a company that does all of that for me as far as they've got the AI agent that responds like it's me, that auto posts, the videos on social media are all AI generated clones.
Yeah.
But what I as far as this goes, tying kind of the GoHigh Level to my social media, would it be a situation where like if they said something, it would trigger something else, or would I probably turn this off? Because the other bot will, I mean, and I can tell it what calendar to kind of refer to for the link and stuff, but just so that I'm not doing all that wrong, would it be better to set it up through here or use the AI agent?
Yeah, I would. So it depends on the type of campaign that you're doing. Like if you're getting social, like if you're paying for social media leads, an AI agent will probably be best because then it's going to be warming it up. But let's say that you make a post that's specific about like a HELOC. You're going to want to do it so it triggers like a direct message, like here's the link to sign up. And then it could trigger the AI agent if they submit the form, if that makes sense.
Okay.
That's how does that make sense, Tristan, why I would do it that specific?
Not really. So basically I would, and I think it's this piece that I don't understand is, so would I generate the social media through here, or I can still use my MLO box to generate the campaign, but if it's on a certain subject, then I would create some type of workflow from here to identify it and notify me, or?
Exactly. So you could still have the post going out. What you could even manually post these posts. The way that this triggers is it triggers based off of a specific keyword, like if they comment a keyword. So you could still have those posts going out of another CRM or even post manually.
Okay.
But this would trigger. Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I can have it where if they use the word looking for refi or refinance, that triggers something out of here to basically comment back on their social media.
Yeah. Yeah. It would actually send a DM to them directly. It wouldn't like reply back to the comment. It would DM them directly. But you could, even if you wanted to, Tristan, you could even just add them to like an AI bot instead if you wanted to get super advanced.
Mm-hmm.
And you could say, like, you could configure it to an AI bot, like it adds.
And that's what it'll have currently through my other system. Is it's an AI agent assigned to me, trained to me, how I like to answer. I can go into it at any point and kind of say, I didn't like the way you answered this. Let's be more careful. So it's got all that built in. So I just didn't know, because I like the idea of it pulling it over into the CRM
Yeah.
for further follow-up, because that's the one thing that's not going to do is it'll communicate just like it's me. In fact, Brian's AI bot, he caught it lying to somebody. So but it'll kind of do all that, so you got to watch what it says. But I do like the idea of having, because maybe it wasn't just good, if it's a purchase, hey, they kicked the tires for a while, it might be 6 months down the road, they're not going to go back to that post. I'd like to pull it over into here so that there's some type of follow-up on that end too.
Yeah. If you could get me your logins, Tristan, they're both built on GoHigh Level. I could even just recreate it inside of, if that makes sense. Because I would just need to pull the knowledge base and just copy it and paste it and everything.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
For your specifically, yeah, just different use case. I would just need to move it over as all inside of there. But great question. Okay, I'm going to delete this workflow, and then I just need to show 2 more things in workflows, and then I'll open it up to questions. So delete this one, delete. Okay, so the next thing is, how do you view, so it's going to depend on your LOS that you're using again, because I have like 4 different or 5 different LOSs I'm using with my LOs. But I have an Arrive folder, I have a lending pad folder, I have a Nano folder. I've tried to think of like all the ones that are the main ones. But if you go to Arrive loan status communication, you can see everything that's built out inside of here. By default, I put it into draft just because I like my loan officers to review the workflow before it goes out, so they know that the text and emails that are sending. So we'll start like on the application started one. If you go inside of here, and you can see the trigger is based off of a stage, right, which is app started. And then it will remove them from the new lead workflow. And then it starts sending these emails and texts. So if you want to change any of the emails, you'll just go in here, go to the subject line or the body, and you just, delete or type in what you want and click save. And then it would save automatically. If you want the workflow turned on, just keep in mind I have these in draft by default so you can review it beforehand. You would just click this publish button, and then it would start going out automatically for you based on your LOS. So that's something that, go ahead, Tristan.
I think mine was just set up, so I just noticed everything's in draft, so I need to turn it all on.
Yeah, and everybody should get an email from me 2 weeks after they've started working with me to review it. I'll check and see why you didn't get that email, Tristan.
Okay, I may have. I get 500 a day, so I may have missed it.
Okay, you're good. I'll resend it to you, but I'll just show you right now, Tristan, because this would be good for everybody. Let me use another LOS. So let's say you guys use Nano. You would go to Nano stage update communication, click on application submitted as an example. Review the different texts and emails, because sometimes I'll even have a text go out to the co-borrower separately, or like an email to the buyer's agent. If you guys are happy with the content, you'll just click publish, and then it's turned on for you. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. Those are the most important pieces I wanted to cover in the CRM. There's a bunch of other stuff the CRM can do, like funnels, websites, social media posting, calendars, but those are the main important ones. So I'm going to leave it open for 5 minutes before I have to jump to my next call. What questions does everybody have inside of here?
Well, I'm still a little fuzzy.
Maybe more than 5 minutes.
Kathy, what'd you say? Sorry.
I said, I think I'm going to need more than 5 minutes. I'll follow up with you.
Okay, we can schedule a one-on-one, Kathy, if we need to. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd love to see you work through leads. So let's say you bring up a list of leads, and then just go through the process of how we can use the dialer and the workflow and everything. It's just some kind of demo.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't have like a list I can use, so I'll just use my list. So that's already imported. So let's pretend that we've already imported our lead list, right, for this example. And I'm just going to add, when I imported this list, I'm just going to add a source. So again, pretend I've already, I'm importing the list because I don't have a list right now. I'm just going to label this test leads. And I'm going to do the tag. Shoot, I can't do the tag because it'll mess it up for everybody. Let's just say this is Rate Watcher. These are Rate Watcher leads, right? So when I import the list, I'm going to want to add a tag to that list. So that way I can have a smart list created and I know exactly what type of leads I'm talking to. Does that make sense so far, Mark, when you're importing it?
Okay.
Okay. Once the list is imported, you're going to want to create a smart list based off of that tag. So I'm going to do tag is rate watcher, and I'm going to save that as a smart list for myself. So that way I can go back to that smart list and view it. Then I'm going to add it to an opportunity. That way I have a visual view of what's going on. So I'm going to click all of these 5. I'm going to do, I'm going to do manage opportunities, and I'm going to do new leads. I'm going to select the pipeline inbound leads.
But I can't see your screen.
Oh, no. You couldn't see my screen that whole time?
No.
No, I was showing that. Abe, you should have told me. I saw your head shaking. I'm just kidding, Abe. Okay, let me show you how to do that again really quick. So pretend I imported the list with the tag rate watcher, okay? So far. I'm then going to want to create a smart list for this. So that way I can track these leads. So I'm going to go to advanced filters, go to tag. Tag is rate watcher. This is just the list I'm creating. And then I'm going to save this smart list as rate watcher. So now when I log into my CRM in the future, I already created it. That's why I said error. Now when I log into the CRM in the future, I can see every tag or lead that has the tag rate watcher. Does that make sense so far, guys? Okay. I'm then going to want them to add, this is how I would personally do it. You don't have to do it this way, but I found this to work best for LOs. I'm going to check everybody inside of that list. I'm going to add them as an opportunity because then I can have a visual view of who I've talked to so far. So I'm going to write a name and just name this opportunity update. Pipeline is going to be inbound leads. I would recommend using this one because this one works best for like leads. We can't create custom pipelines for you guys if you want it labeled differently in stages and stuff. But this one usually works best. I'm just going to use the stage survey form submitted because the only way you would have gotten this leads information is if they submitted their information online. So if you bought the list, this would still work the best because this would be the first stage they'd be in. Then I'm going to do add update opportunity. Does that make sense so far? Okay. I'm going to add them to also to the power dialer. So I'm going to go in here, trigger automation. I'm going to label it power dialer. And I'm going to select the workflow power dialer right here. And then I'll add to that automation. So that adds them to the power dialer directly. If you're on my marketing package and you wanted me to create like a custom workflow, like a rate watcher custom workflow, I would then recommend adding them to the workflow. But let's say these are just purchase leads and you want to use one of the workflows that are in GoHigh Level. You do trigger automation and do purchase leads and just look through the different workflows, but you'd want to add them to like an email and text campaign. So you could do like 12-month purchase campaign, 60-day purchase campaign, high touch. That's what would trigger the texts and emails for you. Does that make sense so far, guys, before I show you how to use the power dialer?
I'm a little lost, so after we watch this video.
You're good. I'll send the recording to everybody. And then I'm going to go to the power dialer next. So to get to the power dialer, you're going to go to conversations, manual actions. Then you're going to click let's start. I don't have a phone number configured to this test account, so it won't actually ring. It'll say it is. Sometimes it does. It should hang up right away. Yeah, voicemail. That's so weird. So you can just do next. What I would recommend is I would go to actions right here, opportunities, and just move them. Let's see. Oh, it hasn't. I needed a refresh. So they should be right here. I just didn't refresh my page. They would be in the pipeline inbound leads, right? And I would just want to update that to be in pursuit, meaning like I've tried to contact them. So I have a visual view of everybody I've contacted. Does that make sense? So update the opportunity before you move to the next one. If you did talk to them, I would do contacted, and then I'd also add notes inside of here. And I would just say something around, I forgot to pause it. If you don't pause it right here, it just goes to the next one. So make sure you pause the power dialer. but I want to, if I talk to the person, I would move them to contacted. And then I'd also want to add a note, right? That says, I spoke to Devin and he said he'd fill out the application now. And I should have done this, but I'd actually create that as a task for yourself to be reminded to talk to this person. So I'm actually going to do that as a task. So I'd put it in there, put it in there, put a date that I want to follow up with this person, and then it will remind you to follow up with that person there for the task. When you're ready for the next one, you would just click next, and then it would start dialing the next person. But does that make sense why I use the power dialer in combination to opportunities so you can see a visual view of where everybody is?
Okay.
Question,
Yeah, go ahead.
Kyle. So, hey, I'm calling my past clients just like this, imported all my contacts in, but how they imported, I want to call most recent to oldest first. How do I filter all those contacts based on funded date?
Yeah, great question, Kyle. And then I probably got to go after this question, but email me, text me, and I'll send the resources again. But this is a really good one. Let me just exit the power dialer. Oh, I need to refresh.
And then, like, their phone's busy. Will it keep going back to them to get them to pick up, or does it check them off if I leave a voicemail?
It will check them off. So you'll need, I'll show you how, Kyle, but you just want to re-add them to the power dialer workflow. So I'll show you how to do that.
Okay.
Too. Yeah.
When you, on the power dialer, when you answer voicemail and whatever other choice you have, where does that information save, and do you still need to update the tasks and everything else?
I'll show that next, Mark. I may run out of time, so I may just send you an individual video just because I want to get piles, but I'll send you a video if I run out. But yeah, I'll answer that. So for Kyle, we'll do Kyle's first, but what you're going to do is you're going to go to contacts, go to advanced filters, and you're going to want to do the filled funded date is the one. And then you're going to do funded date is I would do it in between like certain years or months. So if you wanted to do like in range from, I'm just putting random ones. I know you want to go more than 6 months, right? But you'd first want to create the filter, right? Does that make sense so far?
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to want to do filled. So I would, because it's important, you know, their interest rate and things. So you're going to want to add like the filled interest rate. And that just pulls it up all at once right here. So you have a visual view. Okay. And then you'll also add the filled funded date. And here's why, because this will answer your question, Kyle. When you do that and you click this button, it's going to sort it from least to greatest or greatest to least.
Right. I knew there was some way to do it. So awesome. Thank you.
Okay. And then Mark, that's a video that I'll show everybody. So I'll send that to you directly for your question, because I got to jump for my next call. If you do have questions just before I go, and then I really have to go for this next one, I have 3 resources. Well, I have 4 resources. You can schedule a one-on-one call anytime with me and my team is the first link. Second link is my business partner, Christian, records a video every week on how to use GoHigh Level. Third link is going to be for the weekly trainings that I do. And then the fourth link is going to be an AI bot that will walk you through everything in GoHigh Level. So I have like a ton of different resources if you need the help. On top of that, you can email me anytime if you have a specific questions. Really appreciate you guys. I got to jump to my next call, and I'll see you next week. Next week will be more fun. It's marketing strategies that you guys can implement for your business. So I'll see you then.